find the fish. Find the fish. Find the fish. I think we can all agree that finding the fish is the number one most important thing to consistently catching fish, right? Because regardless of if you have a $100,000 boat or all the nicest rods and reels and all the nicest tackle and a million slam shadies, you're not going to catch fish if you're in a dead zone. But the problem is so many of us don't have time to do the scouting and to be on the water every single day like a full-time guide. Well, don't worry. We have you covered. That is why we've come up with our smart fishing game plan. That's every single Friday morning. We put out a 10-minute video that literally shows you where to find the fish in your area. 10 minutes or less. That's all it takes. 10 minutes or less. We will get on satellite maps and actually show you the trends based on weather, based on the tides, and based on what's happening right now to help you go out there and consistently find the honey holes. It's free to all of our Salt Strong Insider members. That's our smart fishing game plan. So if you are a member, make sure to be checking out every Friday morning. We're coming up with a smart fishing game plan. If you're not a member, what the heck are you waiting on? This is just one more benefit on top of the 20 to 30% off all of our tackle, on top of all the how-tos and all the on-the-water reports and all the fishing reports we're putting up every single day, and the amazing community. You will now get the smart fishing game plan completely for free, part of your membership. Go to saltstrong.com to join us today. Here's the episode.
This fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
What's up, Salt Strong Nation? Joe Simons. Like Simons got Luke Simons, and we have, if you're watching this, we have the best all around weedless shrimp rig. This is something that we've been working on a long time. It's finally here. A lot of you Insider members already took advantage right when we launched it here just recently. And it's the Power Prawn combined with this hoss, like as in like, man, that's a big hoss, helix hooks. And Luke is holding them. For you listening, we'll describe in detail, vivid detail, what this is and how it came about. This is a partnership with Owner. Yes, the same owner who makes the twist lock, etc. And we wanted to work with them to create kind of the perfect hook. And the Hoss brand is one of ours. So that is something that if you're wondering, hey, who'd this Hoss company come from? That's us. So this is something that you will only find at Salt Strong, at least right now. Only Insider members can get it. So,
yeah. So the origin of this, why did we make a hook? And we did it because these power prawns are awesome. So over the past couple of years, we've been using more and more shrimp lures. We started with the Brazilian power prawn that was introduced to us from one of our members, one of our Insider Club members, Marcos. Kept posting just giant fish after giant fish in our private community. And winning tournaments, like winning mini tournaments, going against people using live bait, and he's only using this one lure that he brought in from Brazil. And so we were just like, okay, we've got to go see this. So Joe and I went down there, fished with them, and it was the most big overslot snook that I've ever seen hooked in one day of fishing ever. Like, and pretty much all of us in the middle of the day. Like this wasn't like fishing twilight periods. This was fishing in the middle of the day and lights out. It was insane. And so we ended up bringing those on board and got a lot of feedback from members on those lures. A lot of it was good, some of it not so good. And so we targeted all the not so good ones and put that all together. And the result was this Power Prawn USA. So let me what my friend here's trying to say, we didn't target the not so good ones and put into this one. We eliminated the not so good ones and put all the best ones, and then made a few things that we wish the other one had. And one of the big ones is the rigging. Right now, it's so easy to rig. You can rig it in so many different ways, and it's a whole lot better in terms of pricing. The underwater action, the glide. Talk about the glide, because that's really the big thing. We all know that the majority of strikes happen on the drop, right? If you ask any professional bass person, I mean, that's when the strike happens. If you watch underwater footage, the strike is usually happening on the drop. And this, aka the glide, when it's going down. And this thing
It looks perfect. I mean, I don't know if you can bring that footage up again, Luke, so they can see what this bad boy looks like. But man, it's so cool when you see it underwater, and it's just flat out catching fish. I mean, Slam Shady, obviously, most of you know about Slam Shady. If you don't, where you've been hiding. Slam Shady's been our number one seller for a long time. This was right behind it last year in 2021, this power prawn. And so now we're able to, oh, look at this.
Beautiful.
Watch it go down.
Yeah, and so and Joe, yeah, thanks for correcting me. Yeah, we took all the problem areas from the original ones and then fixed those in this current one. And so now it has the original one had a pretty good glide too. This one's just a little bit better. And the reason is, let me just go ahead and put this so you can see a close up of the lure. The reason why this one glides a little bit better is that it has just a straight tail. The prior one had those indentations. And that was negative in a couple ways. Number one is it created a weak point. So the tear, obviously the fish was pulling at it. The fact that there's these really hard slits in the shrimp's tail, that's just a weak point.
And there wasn't
Number
much material there in between. Like that last segment, it was very, very little material. And so if a puffer or anything got a hold of that, it was done. Even if a normal fish just happened to get a hold of it and you try to set the hook and missed it, it was donezo.
Yeah. Then also that those edges on that significantly hurt the ability for this lure to skip, for the original lure to skip. And now that this is one nice, clean, smooth shrimp lure, this thing skips like a dream. So skipping up under docks, under mangroves, is awesome. Also, too, we mentioned that as far as just overall glide, a big problem with other shrimp lures is that they have all of those legs and stuff hanging down. Some of them have antenna shooting out the front. And what that does, that creates a lot of water drag. And so the glide it's just not natural. It kind of just does a little fall. Like it just doesn't have a nice smooth glide in the water. And that's why so far this has been the best design we found so far on shrimp lures. And as Joe mentioned, the rigging part, and going back to square one, the rigging part is crucial in the fact that this material, this is strong enough to withstand, pinfish and little junk fish that come up and they'll take a swipe of it too. But it's at least malleable enough to where it's super easy to rig. So we created these Haas hooks because no other hooks in the market that we could find would fit this shrimp mold while still being super easy to rig. We love these twist locks from Owner. So these are the patented centering pin that they have on their twist lock hooks. They're amazing. So we teamed up with Owner to get these to enable us to get these screws that we love, know, love, and trust. But we have it on a hook that has a wider shank than what the Owners have. So a con though is that the owner hooks are thicker. So if you're going after bigger fish around real tight structure, the Owner ones will be the better choice. But this, for most of us, we're doing more finesse fishing, and this setup, this hook in particular, is just awesome for that. So just wanted to let you know. So as far as rigging, super easy, right? Twist lock right in the top, just as always. And if you do get these, we'll send you video lessons on how to rig it, how to use it for all situations, depending on depth coverage. So twist it on, take the hook point through the underslot belly, go right up the middle, and now you have a fully rigged shrimp. Thing's ready to rock. And to go super weedless, just dig the hook point into the shrimp, and now this thing is not going to get snagged on any weeds of any kind. And when a fish hits it, the hook will become disengaged and go right into the fish.
It's deadly, and that's why we say this is the most versatile shrimp out there. You just saw how quickly he rigged it weedless. You can also put jig heads on, etc. And that's why we urge people not to buy the pre-rigged shrimp. And we never said they don't work. There's some great brands out there that have pre-rigged shrimp. But I personally wouldn't buy one because you can only fish in one way and really one depth, right? It's not like in most of those, they're not made for you to actually take out the pre-rigged hook or jig head. You're kind of just stuck with it, which means it's not versatile. It's literally unversatile. You can only fish it one way in one depth. Whereas we've caught monster grouper and snapper in 40, 50 feet of water with a 1 ounce jig head, all the way to going, super weedless with this Haas Helix hook. The other thing too, you mentioned earlier about the extremities and some of the just the crazy things some people put on there to fool fishermen, right? They make it look so real. You also can't cast those very far. It's also drag in the wind. So it's drag underwater. It's also drag in the wind. You can cast this thing a whole lot further. And if the tail does get bitten off, with this one's a little bit unique, it actually looks like a little jerk shad. So it still is very, very deadly and maybe even lethal in some areas, even without the tail. So you can still keep the same jig head or hook. There you go. Oh, did you purposely just take that off?
No, I was using it in the backyard doing some videos on how it looks. Yeah, it looks great in the water, even without the tail. So if you want to go like a smaller profile, you can actually kind of like the same shady paddle tails, tear off the tail. As long as it's rigged properly, it still has great darting motion. And yeah, so even the tailless ones work great.
Yep. And the other one, in terms of an overall rig, is that mushroom style, like kind of the Ned Rig. And with or without the tail, it's going to stand up when it's on the bottom. That's what's, pretty unique about those mushroom heads, that they just kind of stand up perfectly. So it's doing that perfect glide, and it's just kind of sitting there, and you shake it a little bit, it'll like actually shake. It's awesome. I was doing that in both freshwater and saltwater. So even the bass can't resist that shrimp sitting on the bottom doing that. It's such a cool way to catch fish.
Yep, and just to so you can see the two different hooks. So we have the owner twist lock. This is an owner twist lock of 4/0, and then here's our 4/0, the Haas hook. You can just see that the gap is much wider. So that's the reason why it may look fairly slight on there, but as far as the application, it was a big benefit. So for using the power prawns, again, excellent lures. Highly recommend giving them a shot. Just make sure to get some of these Haas hooks to go along with it, because the performance is it's just awesome. This has been my favorite combo, especially for like sight fishing redfish. Been great, but the shocking thing has been skipping under docks. Now I just absolutely love it. Skipping under docks, the nice motion of the water, that slow descent, looks just like a natural shrimp. And those so far, I haven't caught any smaller stuff. It's always been the night, like it seems to fool the biggest fish.
Yep.
That one really cool catch as a big snook. It was probably 32, 33 inches, and hit with Otis on the boat, and like had me way into the dock and somehow got it out. But it just hit on all these fish are just hitting on that glide down. That's the part that really needs to get maximized. And I feel like a lot of these other companies spend a little bit too much time trying to make it look really good in the store aisle to humans than actually underwater to a fish. So again, whatever rigging, just make sure that you have everything lined up where it's nice and symmetrical, and so you can get that good glide. That's where the magic happens. And this combo right here has just been phenomenal.
Talk about the wide gap hook. For maybe some newbies, they don't understand why. What's the benefit of having that wider gap?
So let me put it back on. I unrigged it, but the reason why the wider gap is a big deal is because that gap is what enables the hook point to push away from the plastic when a fish strikes. So let me go ahead and rig it up real quick. So the hook point is going to go under the belly,
a little bit higher
top.
See it.
So here's what we have. Here's the gap that we're talking about. This gap under the belly of the lure, in between the belly of the lure and the hook shank. That's the gap. So when a fish will bite down, it'll usually bite down pretty good. And you can see the amount of exposed hook is going to be dependent on how big that gap is. So if I just had even a quarter inch, even an eighth of an inch less gap, that's going to be, and the hook point is only going to be coming out around that, right? So yes, it will work. So yes, this does work with the owner hooks. That's when we started. That's what we're using when we were testing out this shrimp mold to begin with. And we realized, oh my gosh, the action on the water is amazing. The hookup ratios weren't quite where we wanted them to be, and that was really the genesis of creating these hooks. So I found a hook with a wider gap. We actually used the same hook that we were using on the original power prawns, and just put a weight on there in the twist lock, the centering pin, and that really, in my opinion, resulted in the best combo for a weedless shrimp rig that I've ever used by far.
Yep. And a lot of people have asked, are we going to discontinue the Brazilian power prawn? The answer is no. We're gonna keep both. There's certain people, it turned into their confidence lure, and we're not going to take that away from you. Personally, I mean, Luke and I and all of our coaches, we have to buy this stuff ourselves. Just because we work here doesn't mean we get the stuff for free. We're still buying it. We use the same insider discounts that you insiders use, and we're buying the Power Prawn USA. I mean, you get 5 for the same price as you were getting 2. They do last incredibly long. They skip better. They cast better. They have a better looking glide. That you can rig them easier. I mean, to me, it's all benefits in terms of how this is going to help you catch more fish. So definitely.
Yep. And it's just nice that, again, it's made in the USA. It's called USA for a reason. It is actually made in the USA. And then so are these hooks. So these hooks, everything gets assembled in the USA, it gets packaged in the USA. So obviously we always try to do that whenever possible. So we found a great vendor for making it all happen. And we're just really, really thrilled with how it turned out. So far, the feedback has been awesome.
Yep. So Power Prawn USA, you're creating jobs right here in America, in the South. And we are going to have a junior too. So that mold is done. These molds with how everything's going, I mean, it's been like a year plus in the making. And obviously the Power Prawn USA, those are the big boys with 4.5?
4.3. 4.3 inches is the length.
So they're the big ones. And that's, Luke mentioned, I mean, they do legitimately catch big fish. The small ones do too. But to me, if I'm going after a big fish, I'm using the normal Power Prawn. The Power Prawn juniors, a little bit smaller. What we at 3.5? 3.5. Yep. And those will be out. When are we thinking? We have a month?
Yeah, probably about another month, at least another month before they're all ready. And those have been great too. Like here's one of the prototypes so it's much smaller. I'll do one on top of the other so you can see. So the 3.5 one on top, 4.3 on the bottom, much smaller profile. It works great too. Triple tail in particular, this thing is dynamite. So excited to have those available for everybody. And in wintertime too, when the bait's really small, obviously the smaller profile has an advantage.
Yeah. Power Prawn Junior. And then now, we own this mold ourselves. We can get a whole lot more colors, because that's been a question that comes up a lot. We've had that natural. We've literally had one color this whole time. So every time you've seen someone, crush on the Power Prawn, it's literally been that one color. And so we got Slam Shady. We just launched with the natural color, which is that original one. And then now a Slam Shady color. Everyone loves a white shrimp. And this has got the little glitter in there like the normal Slam Shady, and I saw that thing selling like crazy. There it is, man. It looks so
yes. Yeah, this is brand new. This has been super new on the market, so really cool. And again, I can't wait to see all the fish that members catch with it.
Yep. And so for right now, as we're recording this, it is for insider members only, and that's another perk about being an insider member. Is you get 20 to even 30% off everything in the store. But 2, you get some tackle that's not available to other people, meaning the public. So just one more reason to join. If you haven't joined, go to saltshore.com/pricing, or just go to saltshore.com and there's a button there at the top to join the club. And we'd love to have you. It's there's really kind of 3 pieces to it. It's the tackle is one, and not just discounts. It's the reviews and the side-by-side comparisons. We reserve a lot of the best stuff we're doing on the water testing for our members only. And because we've rejected all sponsors, we serve you guys, our members. We're able to tell it like it is. We're never going to say, oh, this is, this thing's great because some sponsors telling us to. Now, like we've and it's ticked off a few manufacturers. Like, I can't believe you said that about my product. Well, like that's the experience that we had on the water with it. And so we try to save our members money by helping you not buy stuff that doesn't work. And then the stuff that does work, we bring it into our store and give you a nice discount on it. So the tackle is kind of one piece. The how-to, the how-to videos. We have a YouTube channel. It's good. We put a lot of good content on there, but that's just a fraction of our stuff. We save the best stuff. We have well over 600 videos behind the scenes, the stuff that's not on YouTube, just for our members. And then all kinds of cheat sheets. We realize you guys are busy, right? You're busy people. You don't want to have to watch 50,000 videos to understand how to catch redfish. you want cheat sheets. You want it super fast. So for busy people, we have these cheat sheets, everything from what tackle to buy and how to rig stuff, what to rig, what color to use, what size to use for every season, and water clarity, different species. Like it's really, really, really awesome. And then there are some mastery courses for those of you that really do want to get deep and or have a little bit more time to watch, a 3-hour like full on mastery course. But the biggest part, and this has happened really over the last couple of years, Luke, is that smart fishing game plan. We realize that most of our members are busy and just they want it short and sweet. All right, tell me where I should go fishing this week. And we do it in 10 minutes or less every Friday morning. And it would be like having a full-time fishing guide get on a phone call with you and literally tell you all the trends that are happening so you could recreate it wherever you're going. Incredibly powerful. So if you just do that alone, just listen to and or watch, because you can obviously do the audio version as well, just on the way to the ramp, 10 minutes in a week, you'll know more than 98% of all the weekend warriors that are just hoping and praying they're gonna find the fish. It gives you a massive advantage. And that was a really cool thing we added on a little over a year ago. And I'll have some software that tells you the best days to go fishing, the best time of the day to go fishing. I mean, we're literally just trying to help you out as much as possible to eliminate all this massive learning curve to catch and fish. And then finally, to tie all that in together is the community. We have an online community where all the fishing coaches are in there. We got some full-time guides in there and a lot of really helpful weekend warriors who are sharing what's working in their area and sharing where the bait is and what they caught fish on, what rigs they're using. Really, really cool community called, the Insider Community. That's only for Insider members. And we do some cool giveaways every month. And this month we're giving away a couple $100 Daiwa spin and reel. And last month it was a $200 travel rod from Toadfish, and do some pretty cool stuff in there. So those are just some of the reasons to join us there in the Salt Strong Insider Club. We'll be hitting 30,000 here before too long. This year it is growing like crazy. And for you current members, thank you guys so much. You're definitely the foundation of the company, and really our family, like our second family. So we appreciate you guys big time.
Yeah, and if you haven't given it a shot yet, and if you just like catching redfish, sea trout, snook, or flounder, just join. There's nothing else like it. It is by far the best platform you'll ever come across for getting help with those species. Yes, we cover the migrational species as well, but those four are the core four, and there's nothing else like it. That's why we offer such a bold guarantee, where we have it of the entire duration of your annual membership. You have the entire year to make sure that it's awesome. If you don't think it's the best investment you've made in fishing ever in your life, just let us know and we'll refund you the full amount. No questions asked. We really do stand behind the product. We know it works. We know it's going to help impact you, and not just for 1 year. It'll still be information that you can take for a lifetime. You can pass down to your kids. So it's just something that we wish we had when we had learned the hard way. Really would have saved years of frustration and tons of money on buying the wrong stuff.
Yep. And we're still learning. This is not just for newbies. We have very experienced anglers, including guides that come in. I mean, part of fishing is that it's a never-ending learning, curve, if you will. It's like a never-ending puzzle. You get closer to feeling like you're done, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, I didn't even think about that. And it's like, all right, there's one more piece. Just always trying to piece it all together. And then as you become more confident, catch more fish, you start exploring more, right? And then that's a whole other fun part, which is where you are, right? I mean, our fishing coaches are going to fish new spots every week, literally, and that's part of the fun of it. All right, I know how to do this. I know what the trends are. Let me go prove that this stuff works, and I'll go to a brand new area I've never even been before, and that's a ton of fun. That whole adventure part of it. So join us there at saltstrong.com. And then once you're a member, you'll be able to get some of these power prawns along with all the other tackle in there. And our goal is that, you save well over $100, which will pay for the whole membership just on the tackle savings alone. And with that weekly thing, what is it, $1.87? That's the question I ask people. All right, would you be willing to pay $1.87 to basically have a guide tell you where to fish every week in 10 minutes or less? And everyone's like, yeah. Like, all right, well then sign up. If you do nothing else besides just watch the 10-minute, you will get a value of $1.87 a week. That's what it breaks down to. It's literally nothing. You can't even find a cup of coffee for that these days. We used to boil it down to 27 cents a day, and that was, you can't find a cup of coffee. You can't even get home coffee for 27 cents anymore. And good news is we have not raised our prices. We might later this year when we have some new software coming out, but we have not raised our price of this Insider Club in quite a few years. It was lower, and for our very, very initial run, like that very first year, and then we moved it up to 97, and at least as we're recording this, it's still there today. So get in while it's hot.
And when we do raise it, obviously whoever got in early will keep the lower price, right? We're not going to increase anybody's that already started. So yeah, give it a shot. We know you're going to love it. And it doesn't take any high tech. You don't have to be a computer whiz. You literally will get an email that says, welcome to the club. And to log in, you literally open up that email and click the link, and it'll automatically log you in, and you'll have full access to the entire platform.
Yep. And then you can do the same thing on your phone. So if have you logged in on your phone, we have a little progressive app on there. And once you're in, you're in. I think it saves the cookies and stuff for a year. Pretty awesome. So you don't have to be remembering passwords and relog it in. We've made it super, super simple. So thank you guys. We'll end it there. For all of you that were lucky enough to get the Power Prawn and the Haas Helix hooks in the first round, let us know what you think. Post some pictures and make sure to leave a review as well at fishstrong.com. So fishstrong.com is the tackle store if you guys want to go check them out there. And of course, in the show notes, we'll put links to everything. That is it. The ultimate weedless shrimp rig. We out. Peace.
See ya.
See you guys.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul. It was passed down